All right. So Jackson, welcome. Happy holidays. So the question we were just talking about now was you're shifting from talking more to more from brand new agents to more to experienced agents. What is the difference between the two of them? So the key difference between the two of them is when we talk about a recipe for brand new agents, you can ask them what's working, what's not working, but they don't even know. They don't know what's working. They don't know what's not working because they don't have the experience to even know. So the big difference between experienced and inexperienced agents is asking the question, what's working, right? So that'd be question number one. If you're getting somebody willing to talk, what's working? And then the counterpoint to that is asking them what's not, right? Because you're going to get a feel for what they've done and what they're not doing, right? So then in the previous conversation we had that recipe we were talking about where you've got an agent is here. Do you remember that recipe we were talking about? Agent is in point position A, right? And they want to be in position B. And then our job is to figure out how to get them there, right? So
this stuff,
take
the video you did, I got all my, I watched your videos and I just redo the notes on them. So yeah, it's the A to B.
Take them from where they are to where they want to be. So it's literally A to B, where they are to where they want to be. So I call this take them from A to B, right? So in this,
where are you? Where you want to be? Yeah.
Yeah. So in this conversation, when you got a brand new agent over here, they have no experience. They don't even know what works and what doesn't work, right? So some of them will have a little bit of experience. I'm still going to ask them the question to get a gauge of where they are in that process, right? But I also want to make sure that they know that they have no idea what's working and they don't know what's not working either. Just what they've heard potentially, maybe stumbled around a little bit, okay? Still the same conversation. The responses from an experienced agent are completely different. Okay, so as we're going through that process, you're going to say what's working, what's not working. That's going to establish where they are now, right? And then the thing is we always want something different. So we got to take that second step is where do you want to be? You know, what do you want to do? What do you think you're going to do? What do you think you want your life to look like? How much money do you want to make? What type of sales do you want to do? How many hours do you want to work? How many vacations do you want to take? What type of money do you want to put towards your kids' education? Do you want to pay off your bills? This getting down to the nuts and bolts on why they want to make more money, why they need to make more money. They all need to be here for the most part. Very few times you can talk to somebody that's at A and they're like, where are you at now? And they're like, I'm 100% happy. It's almost impossible to get somebody there, right? So if somebody says that, so how do we respond to that? When he's like, it's like, how are you doing? How's your business going? Tell me about your business. What's working? What's not working for you? And they're like, are you 100% happy with your business? And they say, yes. What do you do then?
No. Well, tell me what's so amazing about this.
Boom, right? Tell how, right?
How?
Wow. Like, listen, how are you doing this?
Yeah.
You're 100% happy with your business? Heck, hold on a second. Let me get out a piece of paper. I want to write notes. Like, what do you do? Explain it to me. Tell me specifically what you're doing that makes you so happy. I would love to know this because I almost never have anybody say they're 100% happy with their business. Okay. So it turns out probably they're not 100% happy. They're just trying to shut you up, right? So are you actually 100% happy with your business or are you just trying to shut me up? I'll go straight at them, right? They're like, nah, I just don't want to talk to you. Fine, no big deal. Don't worry about it. Listen, I'm not here to put you in a headlock. I'm not here to put you in a headlock at all, right? So, hey, best of wishes to you. Got any big plans for the holidays? None of my business? Fine, cool. I'll touch base with you in January. Hope you have great holidays. Just move on, right? There's a lot of people like, well, Russ, how do I get... Jackson, listen, part of this recruiting game is you're not going to get everybody. You're going to get a very small percentage of them. There's no amount of manipulation is going to get the right person, right? We've got to set ourselves up in a position where people are willing to have a conversation with us by adding value consistently. And then we get the right to ask the question. And then we get the right to ask the second set of questions. Now, in our previous conversation, we talked about, we didn't talk about this, right? This is number 3. Okay. So here's the rub, right? Like to get from point A to point B. So how are you going to get there? Okay. So our step 3 is going to be, so what's working for you? What's not working for you? Question number 3 is like, where do you want to be? Where do you want? Okay. That gives us the B question, right? And then that last part is like, how are you going to get there? Okay, so first question is where you at now? Second question is where do you want to be? What's working? What's not working? Where do you want to be? What's working? What's not working? And then where do you want to be? What's working? What's not working? And then the third part is like, how are you going to get there? Okay, so actually, this is actually messed up a little bit. I've got the order goofed up here for you. So this is 2 here. 2 is where do you want to be? Okay, so 1 is what's working, what's not working, where you are now. 2 is where do you want to be, what's working, what's not working, and then 4 is going to be 3 is going to be how you're going to get there. Okay, so 3 is how you're going to get there. Okay, so we talked about 1 and 2 in pretty good detail, right? How to flush that conversation out. And then 3, this is the how you're going to get there. That's where you're kind of getting tripped up. So you've got experienced agents at selling houses. You don't have as much of the experience in the actual day-to-day sell houses stuff because of your experience background tends to lend more towards investment and so forth and so on, right? Investment property.
I'll give you an example of one, not to throw you off real quick.
Good. No, do it.
Where's she at here, Holly? So we were talking. She's a past EXP agent, you know, and she's like, I just never had any help. She was nice, and I said, no, it happens. I go, it happens everywhere in life. Every company, they're great companies, wherever. I mean, it's just hard to fall through all cracks.
Yeah.
And I said, you know, so I gave her my value proposition where I just work with every single agent as a mentor, as a sponsor. It's just what I do. Yep. And she goes, well, and then she finally like, I'm open to it. And so I'm going to talk with my broker on Wednesday. And then, you know, she said, hey, had a good chat. He said, don't freak out. He sees a lot of cash in the luxury market coming back in 2023. And I says, oh. And
okay.
I was like, you know, besides him telling that, I go, are you open to sharing me the plan that he showed you, how this is going to come together, like the cash and like, where's he getting this information? I go, I would love to see it.
Yeah.
Your words, Holly, is you're tired of people just telling you stuff and it not happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, you know, I did say, I go, he is wrong. Maybe I shouldn't have.
Anybody's going to agree with that guy. It's going to be very, very few people.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And so that's where that ends. So, I mean,
okay. So this goes back to the question you're asking, right? Let's say show them, and I just talked about this with Curtis Shewell. After I interviewed Glenn, I interviewed Kurt Shewell, and I basically said this. So don't show them, tell them. So I always ask how, right? So the question of the day then becomes in this third position here, number 3 is the how, right? So first things first is we got to get really clear on what they want. So let me ask you this, Jackson. So let's pretend you're her, right? So let me ask you this. Did he give you a solid answer and a solid plan with steps that can actually take you from point A to point P and actually implement that? No.
We were just in his office and he said, you know, there's going to be a lot of cash, things are turning around, and, you know, Sarasota is going to be a very big luxury market.
Sure. Okay. So that's fantastic. So let me ask you a question. Are you a really good cook? Amazing cook? Amazing chef?
I'm decent.
Decent? Okay. So do you know what chicken Milanese is?
I've heard of it.
Okay.
Yes.
So here's the thing. Chicken Milanese is the most amazing thing in the world. And if you cook that for your significant other, it will be the most impressive thing you've ever done. And you'll have them eating out of your hand. It'll be blowing their mind. Okay. So what I'm telling you is you got to cook that.
Okay.
So go.
I'll cook it.
Go. Do it.
I don't know how.
Exactly, right? It's like, doesn't matter how great a chef you are if the recipe sucks. Doesn't matter how great of a chef you are. If you have no recipe and you're trying to make something that you've never made before, it's probably good to start with a recipe, right? So if you said to me, you can probably sell more luxury houses in 2023 because the market's coming back, my question would be how? Okay, so if I could give you 2 or 3 steps and or 2 or 3 recipes on how to actually make that a reality, regardless of what the market does, would you like to talk about that?
Yes, definitely.
If you had 750 other luxury agents that you could actually consult on exactly how to make that happen and collaborate with them on how to make that happen, would you think you'd be more successful?
It would be most definite. It would be helpful. Yes.
If you had a couple thousand agents around the country that could refer business to you in your immediate market with regard to doing luxury listings because you're a luxury specialist, would that help you probably be more likely to achieve your goals in 2023?
It would help achieve my goals.
Okay, good. So if you had the ability to see once a week or once every other week a group of people communicating on a daily basis about how luxury is working, not working, what's doing, what it's not doing, and how to leverage that and build that, would that be more helpful to you or less helpful to you?
More helpful.
Okay, so does your broker have a plan that fits that criteria for you, or do we have a better plan for that without even getting specific yet? And you should be asking me how, by the way.
No, and how.
Okay, exactly. Do you see where we got the problem here? Your broker made you feel good, but they didn't actually provide and help provide for you a solution. Okay, so can I show you 3 or 4 recipes that'll actually help you get that solution implemented and actually get that luxury business in 2023 versus just talking about it, hoping about it, wishing about it, and praying about it?
Yes.
Okay, so did you catch a couple recipes that I just threw out there? Okay, so number 1, we have our luxury group, right?
Yeah.
Luxury workplace now, which actually is a collaboration of other agents around the country that are talking about luxury and answering questions about luxury and engaging with other people on being better at doing luxury in just workplace alone. Number 2, there are trainings on luxury, on how to leverage luxury within the system now that wasn't there when you were here last time. Thirdly, you've got the ability to actually do referrals, right? So implementing the referral network through luxury, because now there's a luxury referral network. And by the way, if agents are out of your city and they've got somebody moving into your city, do you think that would happen on occasion?
Yeah.
So most people in Sarasota don't move from Sarasota to Sarasota. They move from somewhere else to Sarasota. So how do you capture that business? Does that business come into your company or does that business come to you? Right now, somebody's looking for Sarasota. They're finding the company, probably most likely not you. Because not only is your company promoting the company, but you are actually helping promote the company, which doesn't help you get more business. So in this scenario, the referral system in luxury is set up so that you are the go-to person in Sarasota. So when somebody has a referral for luxury, you're going to be the one that pops up in that luxury referral system within the Sarasota market.
And if they're a mom and pop boutique, obviously they're not going to get seen as a bigger, kind of like your IDX versus Zilla's IDX.
So do you want to be in a position where somebody has to go online, happen to fall upon your company website, and then happen to fall into your website within your company? You're actually competing within your company for times 20, 30, 40 other agents for the same luxury business coming into that one hit on your company website. Not to mention the fact your company website doesn't have the ability to market everywhere in the country because they're too small. It's one place. You might be able to do a good job in your local market doing some marketing and advertising and so forth, but you have zero presence anywhere else in the country. Where within the EXP network, you now have the ability to actually touch everywhere. And in every market, people are marketing. And in every market, you've got agents that are selling houses. And any one of those people in any one of the markets times 86,000 agents has the ability to say, hey, you're selling your house? Great. Where are you moving to? Oh, you're moving to Sarasota? Would you like me to connect you with an agent in Sarasota that can help you on that end find the house? We've got 86,000 of them out there. How many people does your company currently have out there? So we don't have very many luxury agents yet. They're just starting to build it. So if you want to get in the ground floor of that, you could become the referral luxury agent of preference for your local market. Worst case, you've only got one or two other people to compete with inside your market. And you've got all these other people outside the markets that are going to find the people moving to you. People typically buying in luxury market are selling something somewhere else, or they're buying a second home and they're connected with a real estate agent. You got a better shot at getting referrals from us than anywhere else in the country. That is a huge advantage. Cool. Lastly, in this scenario, from a branding standpoint, we have a whole special branding for luxury with a whole marketing department that is behind the branding for luxury. So you have the opportunity and the advantage of having branding that is flexible, that makes you look good, that promotes you, not promote your company. So does most of your branding promote your company and the company brand, or does it promote you specifically? And by the way, the company's on the other side.
How about the company, their company, my company?
Right. So there you go. Okay, so let me show you the difference that you didn't get to see and you didn't get to leverage last time, right? Right now, what is the name of your company that you're with?
Acme Real Estate. I don't even know it.
Okay, Acme Real Estate. Okay, so here's how this actually works. Okay.
Preferred Shore.
Okay.
Preferred Shore.
Okay, so right now, here's the deal. You're under Acme. Acme is the brand, and then you work under the brand Acme, and everything you do promotes Acme, and everything Acme does promotes Acme, right? In the EXP brand, where you didn't leverage this before because you didn't have people to show you how to leverage this, here's how the system really works on the EXP side. On the EXP side, EXP is the brand, and then you stand on top of that platform. So you market yourself to make yourself look good. EXP is also along with you. EXP markets anything, and it's using it to market you. So the whole focus is, instead of you being under Acme and holding Acme up, EXP holds you up and promotes you. So who would you rather have promoted on a day-to-day basis? Acme or you?
You, me.
Yeah, right. So this business really,
individual.
Your customers call you, your customers look for you, look to you for guidance, look to you for advice, look to you for market expertise, and look for you to give them guidance and consult them on what they should do with their real estate. Okay. In the EXP system, you're standing on that platform. Your experience here before, unfortunately, didn't give you the exposure to being able to actually learn how to leverage that platform. Now, with that being said, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ways to actually leverage your listing / luxury business at EXP. And by the way, this wasn't around last time you were here. This is new and just now growing. So you want to get in on the ground floor with this?
I could definitely look at this a little deeper.
Would this help you sell more houses in luxury?
Yes.
Okay. How many more? So here's how we quantify, right? If you had these things, how many more houses do you think you'd be able to close just by having those tools available to you?
I think I could do another 10 or 20 with that.
Okay, so did you see what I did? I waited. Okay, so you're saying 10 or 20. Okay, what is your average sales price in your market, Jackson, in Sarasota there for luxury?
425 or sorry, million two.
Okay, so what is a typical commission on $1.2 million in Sarasota market? Like, do you guys typically get 3% there? Are you getting 2.5? You getting 2?
Yeah, well, it'll come in at 5 for the total, and so 2.5.
2.5, 2.5. So you're looking at, on $1 million sale, you're looking at $25,000 commission. Okay, so let me ask you this, Jackson, based on what we just talked about, and you having these tools available, you just said you could probably do 10 to 20 more sales. That's 250 to 500K more just having those tools. Your words, okay? Here's the tools, your words. So let's be more conservative than that, because I know that's probably not how it's going to be right out of the gate. So we're going to ramp up to that potentially over the next 2-3 years. You ramp up to doing the additional 10 or 20 by utilizing these tools consistently, because it's not like you're going to hit the ground and bam, you're going to have a referral tomorrow. It could happen, but not most likely. So let's plan on what's most likely. So in the next 3, 4, 5, 6 months, you get this stuff up and running. And let's just say you only closed 2 more by having these tools. So that's plus 2 sales at $25K a pop. So you're looking at $50,000 more income in your pocket in the first year by just having those tools available for you. And that's, by the way, 200 less than what you thought. Still, 50K is a lot of money more in 1 year, right? So let me ask you, what is your house payment right now, if you don't mind me asking?
2,200.
Okay, so just having that alone is going to cover more than your house payment. Even after taxes will cover your house payment. Just by being aligned with the right company and the right tools to be able to help drive that business. I'm only talking 2 sales. 2 sales for you is a game changer. How would you like to get rid of your house payment? Doing exactly what you're doing right now. And the business coming to you, not you chasing it. This is one tool of 2 or 3 more that we could talk about. Would you take that and run with that?
Yeah, if the market's looking to change or whatever, and one deal would actually almost pretty much cover my house payments for the year.
Pretty close, right? Not after taxes, it wouldn't.
Yeah.
We'd be short after taxes. So let's aim for that minimum of 2, right? I mean, listen, if you end up with 4, 5, 6, that's just free money, right? But let's say with your skill set, you're saying with your skill set, if you have these tools, you'd be able to at least leverage 2. You're saying 10 on the conservative side. Let's say you only leverage 2. That's game changer stuff for the way you're rolling your business, isn't it? So let me ask you this, Jackson. If you stay in the company you have now, what do you think your chances are of locking down that extra 50,000? What they're doing, what they just taught you?
0. If I'm not doing anything different. 0.
If you don't change anything, nothing changes, right? So you're going to have to change something for something to change. And it sounds like to me, this is all stuff that you could use in your system to be able to build that best recipe and be able to cash in on that pennies on the dollar compared to what you said, 50K. And then let's aim for more like 100, 200, 300. Even if we fail and we hit 50, that's still a good win, right?
Would you be, I don't want to say arrogant enough or I don't want to say cocky, but would you say something jacket? Like, I love it. I love that. Cocky. No. No, I didn't mean that. I was saying, like, if I was talking to her, and I was like, hey, Holly, look. Yeah. I was able to tell you and show you. I go, how about this? Meet with your broker again next week. Have him lay out his plan and see how it compares to this plan. And see, like, ask him to show you.
I wouldn't go that route. Yeah, I wouldn't even necessarily bother. I would at the end of that, I'd say, okay, so what do you think? What's your gut telling you right now you should be doing next? What's your gut tell you should be doing right now? You already went to your broker. Your broker told you a great story, didn't show you how at all, with no specific.
He had a chance. He had the chance to show you.
You gave him a chance to show you the recipe on how to make an amazing chicken Milanese. And he said to you, by the way, next year we're going to have a grocery store and you can make chicken Milanese. They got all the parts. You're like, you still don't know how to make chicken Milanese. Like, he didn't give you a recipe on how you can be successful. He gave you something that made you feel good. So let me ask you this. Next time your house payment comes up, you're going to call the mortgage company and say, hey, I'm going to pay you in feel good equity. Are you okay with that? I'm going to write you a check for feel good. You want it? You take it. Can I just stay? You're going to feel really good about me staying and not paying you. And they're going to say, no, well, we actually take real money. Okay. So with that being said, I just gave you 5 steps that would be helpful in aligning you back with this so that you make the shift to be able to do that, right? Right now, you're here. You're going to stay here unless you do something different. I just showed you how to do something different so that you could actually have those 5 steps to get your words an additional $50,000 in your pocket minimum. It's still on you. You still got to do the work. You still got to cook the chicken Milanese, but there's a recipe you can do. And this is not a highly technical recipe. It's not going to take 2 years to learn. It's over the next 2-3 months you can implement this at a very, very high level. And the company is doing a huge ton of push right now on building the luxury brand because it's brand new. So it's super exciting. It's being built out as we speak. Is it better to get in at the top of something exciting or at the bottom when it's just starting something exciting?
Top.
By the way, not to mention, we're going to make you look good. And is it possible that there's some other agents that might say, you know what? Maybe that brand is interesting to me too. Maybe I should get in there. She's got all of that good stuff. Maybe I should get in there. Unfortunately for you, I'd be finding people down in Venice Beach or up in Tampa. I don't want to compete with them, right? Like if you find somebody in Venice, like you want to do luxury, I could show you how I use these 5 tools. Now you got an opportunity to actually help somebody else come along and be successful. That's how we add people just doing what we normally do. Would you be willing? Could you do that? Are these tools you could implement? Does it sound doable to you? Yes.
Yeah.
What would stop you from saying yes to that right now? You can say nothing. That is an answer. Like it's really,
I don't know.
just like maybe emotion, a little bit of emotion behind it. Kind of think about it for a second. Okay, so here's the cool part. Nothing's going to change. These recipes are still going to be there tomorrow. So why don't we do this? Why don't we touch base again tomorrow? Think about it for a second. And if it's only the emotion behind it stopping you, don't let it stop you. Let it motivate you. So tomorrow, let's have a retouch. Write down any questions you have, right? And then at the bottom of that page, could I do this? And would I do this? If I could and would, then I probably should. Ooh, that was really good, dude. I got to repeat that. Okay.
That was good.
Could you do this? Would you do this? And if I could and would, then I probably should.
Great eggs and ham.
I'm gonna clip that out.
That was good.
Show them a recipe that's doable. And I've used variations of that, right? It's like if you can and you should, you can and you should do it. If you can and you will do it, then you probably should do it, right? Like, yeah, I mean, I'm giving you a recipe that's doable. I can make it. I like chicken Milanese. I like capers. I like jasmine rice. I like a little lemon zest. I love tender chicken that's crispy and crunchy on the outside. This sounds phenomenal. It's not super high calorie. It's reasonably easy to cook. It's got a ton of flavor. Man, I look like a rock star cooking that. So if I can do it, I got the tools for it. Why wouldn't I? Yeah, buddy. Okay, so do you see how I set this up to answer that question? Okay, you told me where you are, what you're doing, what you're not doing. You tell me where you want to be, what you like to do, what you not like to do. I asked you a question, can you do that where you are now? Yes or no? Like, how do we get there? Well, if you're going to get into luxury and you want to be doing a better job in 2023, then just associated with luxury only, nothing else, you have the ability to do boom, 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 boom. This puts more money in your pocket because you have the ability to talk to people and question people and bounce other information off people. The trainings that they're doing are specific trainings to get luxury certified and qualified. So you have additional training in getting more luxury from people that are doing high levels in luxury. You have the ability to do the referral system within luxury because you can only refer luxury stuff to luxury people that are in luxury markets. So you've got a whole nation full of people that has 86,000 people. So leveraging the 86,000 people in EXP, because you're just with EXP, you're going to be seen more by the other people that aren't even touching the luxury referral system. And then in addition to that, all of the branding and tools and parts and pieces that you have available to help you look like a rock star, smell like a rock star, talk like a rock star, ended up getting paid like a rock star. That is all about branding, which will have a full repertoire available for that for luxury branding. And they're continuing to build it out. Heck, if you get in now, you can actually have a say in what they build out, which is pretty cool too, right? So this is getting in on the ground floor of luxury that just opened, and let the company and luxury brand build upon you as a foundation, and you have an opportunity to actually share in some of the wealth that brings also. Okay, so that's just selling her what she's talking about luxury. So your person, real scenario. Here's a sales pitch. You notice I didn't talk about rev share. I didn't talk about stock grants. I didn't talk about EXP World. I didn't talk about any of the other stuff. I didn't talk about my EXP. I didn't talk about the app. I didn't talk about university. I only talked about what she wanted to talk about, which is her focus was luxury based on what you just told me. Do you see the difference? I'm going to solve her problem, not solve everyone's problems.
Right.
That's the difference when we're doing this recruiting conversation, is being able to sit down and say, okay, how do I show you to get from point A to point B? She hits a hot button. So that's important to you. Yes. Boom. Here's the result. Here's the recipe for you to solve your problem. Can you do that? Will that work for you? And the answer is yes. So can you do this? Yes. Would you do this? Yes.
Yes.
And should you do this?
Yes.
When do you want to get started?
Right now.
It's like, I'm not closing you. You're closing yourself. If you can do this, you will do this. You should do this.
Yeah.
Hit the damn button. Yoink. Hit the button. Okay. Good. Is that a good example for you?
It is.
So can you do this?
Yes.
Yes, because listen, I don't have to get into bloody detail on this. You see, it's just kind of loosey-goosey understanding of what these things are and how they work for her. Right? It's like, I'm not telling her, well, let me tell you about workplace. You're going to, like, we have luxury workplace. And what that is that's a connection. It's an ecosystem that is built to help support all of our luxury agents. So you've got other luxury agents around the country that are in that specific spot. You have to be a luxury agent. And you're communicating with other luxury agents all around the country. Do you think there's somebody else somewhere in the country, like maybe California, maybe San Diego, maybe San Francisco, maybe Seattle, that's in a luxury market that you're not in, that might have some ideas on things that are working there that don't work where you are, or nobody's even heard of where you are? This is a great place to collaborate and see what's working nationally. There are plenty of things working in other places of the country you're never going to know about because your company is only local. So luxury workplace gives you the ability to communicate and connect with people all over the country and compare notes on what's working. Of course, we'd like you to say, hey, if you got something that's working in Sarasota, there are people that want to see that in Naples and in Miami and in Boca and in Tampa and in San Francisco. So you can contribute to making the whole thing better. Great. If you had the ability to have a couple of trainings every single month from luxury agents that are doing things that work well, couple of trainings a month, would you want to plug into that? See what they're doing and see what they're saying. So it's a formalized training type system. Not to mention just getting the certification process. Got to make sure you get some basic information for that, right? In addition to that,
you had made some reference. I was looking for the text about, we were talking about systems.
Yep.
And I was like, I don't have systems, yes. And you're like, well, I have system, but then you said, you'd spoken kind of like what you're saying is like with this, you're not going through and just micro explaining everything. You're laying there and getting them and just showing them where it is.
So here's the recipe. Okay. So this is your new system. Because I know I tried to shove you into some other systems before and you don't want to be shoved into systems. So I'm gently guiding you into showing you a recipe that you're accidentally going to cook, whether you like it or not.
Like you said, it's the recipe, and
I'm fooling the kid into eating the peas right now. You're the kid. I'm the one trying to make you eat peas. Okay. So, but this makes sense to you now, right? It's like, where are you at now? What's working? What's not working? And all those questions in the beginning from A to B that we talked about in the previous video was to make sure that you know, where are they at now? Where are they going? And then like, how are you going to get there? So that's going to flush out something. And I flushed out with you in this conversation. She wants to talk about luxury. She asked her broker, how do we do better in luxury? And he said something along the lines of, well, in 2023, luxury, the money's going to start coming back to the market and the luxury market's going to start firing back up. So just hang on to your boots. It's coming. And my response to you was like, and what are you going to do to get in the way of that bus when it comes? Step number 1, put on some clothes. Step number 2, step out in the street. Step number 3, go backwards and figure out if it's a bus route. Step number 4, now that you know it's a bus route, step out in the street. Step number 5, wait till a bus hits you. A lot of people are like, well, Russ, I want to get hit by a bus. I'm like, are you outside? No. Well, you probably should get outside too. Are you near a bus route? No. Well, you probably get near a bus route. Are you standing in the street? No. Well, go stand in the street. Right. So somebody's saying, Russ, I want to be in luxury. Okay, great. Well, are you anywhere near luxury? No. Have you talked and communicate with anybody in luxury? No. Are you anywhere near any luxury homes or neighborhoods? No. Okay, so number one, learn some stuff. Number two, get in a luxury area. Number three, start talking to luxury people, and you're more likely to do luxury business. Okay, it's literally that simple.
Yeah, so like with the luxury and the sales, specifically on this is like you don't want to sell them a specific thing. You can organize it. I do have a thing. Obviously that's the phenomenal thing about um, the world with the trainings, because like you said, you get organized, go through, find the different trainings on
Yeah.
whatever it is that they're needing, put that in front of them, accountability, coaching, keeping them, and like I told her, guiding one-on-one, guiding them through that.
Yeah.
And that's it. And then
So here's
so one of the things on like with this is having a little more you're not spelling out the full system, but you're kind of generalization like you did with luxury.
yes.
And they're like, yeah. And then you go use workplace to kind of get them specific things on what they need. So
here's the deal. When we're getting into this why, okay, so let's do a base recipe. Okay, so what does every chicken recipe have in it?
chicken.
Every single time. Otherwise, it's not chicken recipe, right? Chicken recipe, right? In every single chicken recipe, what is most likely to be in that chicken recipe? You're going to have seasonings and salt, right? You're probably going to have to cook the thing, right? So you start with chicken, some seasonings, and you're going to cook it. Now, there are a bunch of variations on how you can do that, but I don't know anybody that's going to make chicken that's worth eating that doesn't start off with chicken, some kind of seasoning, and some method of cooking it. Okay, so it's like basic three. So you can use that. It's like, okay, we're going to do a chicken recipe. So they're real estate agent. Here's their chicken recipe. Here's the chicken, right? Here's the spices. Here's the cooking method. Okay, so you've got these three basic ingredients in every question mark over here. How are you going to get there? One of the things that we have that's amazing is you have the ability to connect in workplace to specific people that are doing exactly what you're doing, whether it's be your city, your state, your local neighborhood, or you want to be in luxury, or you want to do relocation, or you want to do REO. There's groups for everything where they compare notes on how to do business. Do you have access to something like that now, or just local? National. Lots of people with lots of stuff coming from all different places with all different ideas on how to do things. You could literally jump in there and say, hey guys, how are you doing this now where you are? And people will actually chime in. Okay. Secondly, we have a referral network that is national. National. Are people more likely to move in from outside of your neighborhood, or in your neighborhood, inside your neighborhood? More likely to move from out of your neighborhood into your neighborhood. So even a referral network in your local market is good, because I can't touch everywhere. So I can refer business from my local market, and I can refer business in and out of my market all over the country, which gives me the opportunity, even if I do free, it's another $5,000 or $10,000 a year, right? There's another $5,000 a year just having access to that. And then thirdly is like, what do you want to do better at? Every single one of these people, if you want to do better at that, wouldn't you love to have the ability to have access to the training on top people around the country that are doing this at a really high level? And they'll show you their recipe on exactly how to do that. They'll show you the exact spices you need to do to make that chicken taste amazing. Would you like to have access to that? Done. You think you could sell another house if you had that? Yes. What if you just had one more house for this one, one more house for this one, one more house for this one? What market are you in? You're in Indianapolis, great. Average sales price in Indianapolis is $350K. They get 3% on a lot of their stuff there. So average commissions around $9K. So even if you just did those three things, you'd have 1, 2, 3 more sales at $9K a piece, around $27,000 more in your pocket, just having access to those couple of tools. That's like generic, not just told them, I showed them the tools and how to convert them. Okay, you can use that recipe in every single person you talk to as a base. This is your base chicken. Now,
yeah, so do you have a recipe for, like a set, like they do? It's like the recipe is, I guess, what I'm kind of looking for, and I like that one right there. But if it's specifically like I need more leads or I need more listings where you could do a generic recipe without giving them anything. You know what I mean? Kind of like, here's the steps of a system. Like, I don't know if that made sense.
Yeah. So you've got to start building out your recipes on how you want to present the information that makes sense for them. And I'm going to custom tailor it to each one of them, right? So let me ask you this. So let's go back to chicken recipe. Okay. You got a base chicken recipe, includes chicken, spices, and cooking. Okay.
Yeah, let's say I'm saying, I was like, Russ, I need more leads.
Okay. So you want Italian chicken? You see where I'm at? Okay. So, and then they're like, well, but Russ, I need more support. Okay. So you want Asian chicken? Right. So whatever they tell me, I'm going to find like what recipe fits them, right? I'm not going to give the Italian recipe to the person who wants Asian chicken. Asian chicken is completely different than Italian, right? Asian chicken typically isn't going to include tomatoes. If you do any chicken recipe without tomatoes, it's probably not Italian. There's a tomato in there somewhere. They always find a way to get a tomato in, right? Okay, that's the root of Italian. Like, what is Italian? It's like probably got a tomato in it somewhere. Okay, so you got to start saying, okay, so we just did a recipe for luxury. Okay, so now we've got to build out our recipe for Italian, right? So what does that look like? So do I have that base recipe? Sure. So here's a couple ways you can connect more. Here's a couple ways you can get more support. By the way, you're saying you want to do more of that business. Okay, great. Well, how are you going to get there? Who's going to show you how to do that? Well, my company said that they could. Well, if your company was going to do that, you wouldn't be here. You'd be over there. So you're going to have to change something, right? So what are we going to change? Let me show you a couple of options that might make sense for you. Okay. So one of the things that they're going to come across is going to be leads. Okay. So here's the thing, right? If you're talking to a highly experienced agent with real production, I'm going to say, well, how do you get the leads you already got? If I got somebody that doesn't have as many sales, let's say less than 10 per year, there's a really good chance that they're not working the right stuff the right way. Okay. So I'm going to ask them, where did you get the leads you have? Okay. How did you get the business that you already have? You don't have any business. So you're saying you want more business. Do you want more business you have to chase, or you want more business that comes to you?
Both. Comes to me.
Nobody ever says that. They always go, I would like to come to me, right? Okay, so let me ask you this. Do you know where the most likely source of business is to come to you?
My backyard.
Sphere of influence, right? So let me ask you this. Are you doing a really good job working your sphere of influence?
I do okay.
So do you know how to measure it? I can show you how to measure it, because I can tell you what doing your good job with your sphere looks like. I can tell you the recipe and the percent. Would you like to see that?
Yeah.
Okay, so do you know that if you do a really good job working your sphere of influence, you should be able to convert your sphere of influence at around 10%? And that's not just me saying that. That's Brian Buffini, Roger Butcher, David Knox, Craig Proctor, Mike Ferry, Tom Ferry, all of the big guys out in the business that teach, train, and coach. My buddy Mike, my buddy Adrian, myself, when we do a good job teaching people how to do and work their sphere, they should be able to convert their sphere at around 10%. Okay, so are you converting your sphere at around 10%? No. So the first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to have some systems set up so that you can work your sphere more effectively and get that first 10% out of your sphere. So Jackson, let me ask you a quick question. How many people do you have in your sphere?
Few hundred.
Okay. Most people have no idea. Okay. So
yeah, okay, yeah.
You don't have any idea. If they
and I door knock it because my brokers tell me to door knock more.
Okay, so you have, okay, that's great. Do you love door knocking?
No, but they're just saying it's
okay.
Very helpful.
So let's talk about a system then. Secondly, okay, your second recipe. Okay, one is put together your sphere, right? Two is add to your sphere without door knocking. Would you like that recipe also?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's the deal. You said you have around 200 people in your sphere. So you should have, based on our metrics, around 20 closings per year coming just from your sphere. Do you have 20 closings a year coming from your sphere?
No.
Okay, so if I could show you 2 or 3 tools that we have to help you unlock that 20, would you want to talk about that?
Yes.
So let's get specific. How many people came from your sphere last year?
4.
Okay. You had 4 from your sphere last year for 2022. Okay. That means you got 16. If you do nothing else and don't add anybody, You've got 16 more sales in your sphere right now that need to be unlocked before you even think about doing anything else. Okay, so let me ask you this. What's your average sales price in your market?
250.
Okay, 250K. Average commission in your market around 3%.
Yeah. Two
Okay,
and a half,
so
3. Yeah, 3.
right around $7,500 is your average commission in your market then? Yeah. Okay, so what I want you to do, Jackson, do you have a calculator in front of you?
I do.
Okay, so can you take 7,500 and times that by 16? What is that number?
Russ, that's 120,000.
120K. Okay, so Jackson, you're saying you want to put more money in your pocket, you want to make more money, you want to have and do a bunch of things and live the life of your dreams, be able to pay off your kids' college, be able to pay off your car, be able to make not have to make every decision based on how much it costs. Would it 120,000 more dollars every year make a difference in your family and your life?
Yes.
Yeah, so this isn't a little bit of money, Jackson. This is game changer, life changer, generational changer. Because if you do that, like we're not talking about doing this once. We're talking about doing this every year. So how many more years are you going to be in real estate? 10?
Well,
15?
my goal, I mean, I'd like to be out in the next, well, when I first started 10 years ago, I was going to do it for about 8 years. And, but now I think, 10 years.
The only way you're going to do that is if you make more money than you're making now. Right now, you're on the path to never stopping working, ever. Right?
I see that. And I'm working more.
Let's say 10 years. So if you make this shift and implement these tools, you do your part on this, just work your sphere, and then not even adding people to your sphere yet, just working your sphere well, you're looking at 120,000 per year or $1.2 million over the next 10 years. So let's say, is that a game changer for you to have an extra $1.2 million over the next 10 years come in?
Yeah.
Okay,
oh,
so
yeah.
Let me ask you, Jackson, should you be getting really good at working your sphere so you get that at least at a minimum to 10% conversion rate?
Yeah. I mean, and they do tell us, the one person was telling us that to go work our sphere, like, but
How?
I'm doing it. I'm just not seeing it. Like, how?
Right. So they're telling you to cook a chicken and you're like, how? Where do I find a chicken? And then what do I do to it? Right? So can I give you a couple of simple things to make a good chicken recipe to help unlock this?
Yeah.
Okay. By the way, you can have this conversation with damn near every single freaking person you meet almost every single time. I do the same freaking thing almost every single time. And they sit here, Jackson, they go, oh my God, yes. Like, here's the deal, guys. Like, even if you screw it up, you're still at 600,000 more dollars. If you half-ass it, you come out with 600 more thousand in 10 years. Let's say, here's the thing. I actually made this term up. If you quarter-ass it, you still have 300 more thousand dollars in the next 10 years. So let's say you don't even do your part and you don't do what you say you're going to do. You screw it up and you're still at 300,000 more in the next 10 years. Is that a game changer for you and your family? That's paying off your whole house. 100% of your house paid off, right? So with that being said, should you be focused on getting this working first? Yes. Would you like a couple of recipes to do that? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. That's what we're talking about using and doing here. Good. So are you willing are you willing to do whatever it takes to make that happen? Yes? Good. So what would stop you? You haven't learned that where you are now, so you got to do something different, don't you? So if you keep doing what you've just already done, you're going to keep getting what you've already gotten. So we got to change something. So are you willing to make a change so that you can unlock that?
Yes. Now, if you get that agent that's like, you get the people that want it, but don't want to change. Like, well, can you teach me, show me that, kind of show me how that would look. And obviously they're fishing, so they don't have to change. Like, if I tell you, it's like, can you show me that? And I kind of think about changing, but can you?
Yeah. So, like, I'm not going to teach you how to make $1.2 million at your current brokerage and then enjoy them making a crap ton of money off of you. That doesn't make any sense, does it? So I can show you a couple of things and tools that we have that can help you get and more likely get there, right? Would you like to see a couple of those tools real quick? Okay, so one of the things you're going to have to do to unlock your sphere of influence is you're going to have to start using a CRM. Do you use a CRM on a regular basis? No?
Sort of, not all the time.
No, you don't. Nobody ever says yes. Okay, so we have KV Core. KV Core makes it so that you can automate some of this stuff. So when you're contacting and connecting with these people, you don't have to work 80 hours a week every single week to be able to stay in contact with these people. Some of this, once you get rolling and get the relationship built, you're going to want to do some of this automated. Your closest people, you want to touch and build a relationship with live. But the people that you don't know super well, you want to automate that so you don't have to work 100 hours a week to be able to make this happen. Okay. Now, this isn't $1.2 million more and an extra 120 a year working another 100 hours a week. This is working 40 hours a week, plus or minus. Your bad week's going to be 50. A great week's going to be 30 if you're doing the right stuff. Part of that is having the right CRM. We have the best in the industry with KV Core. So something you're going to need to learn. By the way, we have all the training to actually help you use it. I don't know if you're anything like me. I kind of feel stupid when I touch these things. They're not intuitive to me. I struggle hard learning this stuff. We've got some teachers that literally start with 101 to make sure you don't get lost in the process and you can get up and running on some basic functions. You don't have to do it at a high level, just basic function. So would you be willing to use that if we made it simple? Yes?
Yeah, that's the great thing about having the guest pass to take them into the world,
yes,
to actually show them this stuff too.
Okay. So there are dozens and dozens and dozens of trainings in our system that show you how to unlock this. As a matter of fact, you might even bump into, I've got a video from my guy, Russ, bald-headed dude, wears weird coats and has a strange whiteboard. He's got a couple of recipes on that you should be doing on how to build your business and teaches you how to unlock that sphere. Would you like to have access to some of those? And they say, yes, great. So should you decide to join us, I'll send you one or two of those bootlegs of him telling me how to do this. Would you like to see that? Yes? Good. Now you've got a personal touch nobody else has, right? Because you know me and you say, hey, Russ, send me the thing on the thing that you talk to your team on the basics of how to get their sphere working. I'll send that to you, okay? Now you've got something personal. It's part of why you and I are doing what we're doing, okay? So with that said, in addition to that, do you have access to a referral network that has referrals that are being thrown all over the country by 86,000 real estate agents nationally? Do you have access to something like that?
No.
Okay, so that would be something else we'd connect you with. Thirdly, we've got Revenos. Do you know what Revenos is?
No.
Okay, so Revenos is a system that's set up that companies are saying, hey, we got people we need to move. We're not going to do all the moving like they used to with Relo. So there's a bunch of different companies that are asking people to move, and they will make recommendations and referrals of people that need to move and connect in a Relo type of scenario. Have you ever been certified to do relocation? They literally hand you a live human that needs to move into your town. If you were able to get set up and trained to be a Revenos agent, do you think you could close one or two if they handed you a live human saying, I want to buy a house in your market?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Then let's just go one more thing here. Do you know what OpCity is? Okay. Let me ask you this question. If we had live humans ready to go, somebody goes out, does a bunch of marketing, gets some leads, incubates the leads, and when the person says, hey, I'm ready to actually buy or sell something, can you connect me with an agent? And they say, yes, we can. And then your cell phone rings and you see accept, reject. You hit the accept button, then your phone rings. Hi, this is so-and-so with OpCity. We've got a buyer that wants to buy a house in your market over there and they're ready to go. They said they want to talk to an agent. They're ready to talk to an agent. Do you have time to talk to them right now? Yes, I do. Okay, let me connect you right now. Boom. Now, do they charge a referral fee for that? Yeah, of course they do. But it's 30 or 35% depending on the value of the property. But you've got the ability to connect to some of those. One of my friends, Claudia Montes, Orlando, Florida, closed 3 sales in November last year. This time last year, closed 3 sales in November from OpCity. That's a $20,000 after paying the referrals, made an extra 20 grand just from OpCity in November last year. If you're on the ball and you can watch that in between and around working your sphere, would you be willing to try to tackle that? Even if you got 1 or 2 sales from that a year, that's still an extra $10,000 or $20,000 a year. Make sense? Good. So there's 5 different ways you can put more money in your pocket by aligning with EXP. So would you be willing to do this?
Yeah.
Could you do this? Does this look like a process that's doable?
Yeah.
So the third question then is, should you do this then? If you can and you will, you would and you could, it's doable. You're willing to do it. Should you do this?
Yes.
Hit the button. Let's make this happen then. Cool part is you get stuck, you got me. Reach out to me. My job is to help unblock stuff and point you in the right direction. I don't know everything, but I know a couple people that know a lot of people. Heck, all I gotta do is
That
call
right there is really good. It's that's really good right there. That's
You can use that, right? Now they've got a personal touch and a personal person invested in helping them unlock this stuff. Do you have to know how to do this? No, you just have to know the people that do. I don't have. I don't need to know how to make everything. I just need to know where to go to dinner. I'm going to have to make
that's the Henry Ford. That was Henry Ford. They asked him, "Was like, you don't know how to build a car?" Like, I don't need to.
Doesn't need
I
to.
don't.
Andrew
How did
Carnegie
his
was the same
company
way.
turn out? How did his company turn out?
Andrew Carnegie was the same exact way. Okay.